Oh, hello, everybody. I'm Mikey Stiller. I hope we're live. And I'm so excited to welcome you to day one of Freedom Frequency. You guys are in for a real treat because this idea of freedom is something that clients have been telling us they want. They want to create personal freedom, time freedom, financial freedom. And so if that's you, if you want to create more freedom in your life, then you're in the right place. And we are so excited to have you here. I know Arash has some new concepts he's going to be teaching the next couple of days that you haven't heard on our previous live events. So get out a pen and a piece of paper, set aside all distractions for the next 90 minutes, and get ready for an incredible 2 days. I want to give you a little bit of information about how the 2 days are going to go, and then I'll hand it right over to Arash so he can get into what you're all here for, mindset and strategies on creating freedom. All right, so everybody's been asking, is there going to be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay available right after we end, and it's going to be up until next Friday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So that's 8 days. If you miss anything, if you want to go back and rewatch something, which we highly encourage, you're going to have 8 days to do that. I have a couple of people also asking me if we're going to put this up on YouTube. Yes, we will be putting this up on YouTube as well. So if you like the translation that they do over on YouTube, don't worry, it'll be up on YouTube later this evening. And we're going to give you an assignment every single day. Everything that you're going to need for the event is right here in this Facebook group. So we'll be going live like this again tomorrow. At the end, Monica is going to come on. She's our director of coaching. Absolutely incredible. She'll give you a daily assignment. That's something that you want to do right away. And then you want to post it in the group so that we can create this really great supportive community of people who are all working in the same direction. We can hold you accountable, and it's going to be a fantastic couple of days. I'm really looking forward to it, and I know our entire team is. So now, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the man of the hour, Arash Vossoughi. Arash, it is all yours, my friend.
How are you, Mikey?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Excited for these next few days.
I'm very excited for the topic this week.
Yeah, me too. All right, you ready to go?
Ready to go. Let's get into it.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Well, it's an honor to be here with everybody. And this topic is very dear to my heart. The word freedom. I remember, I'm going to take you back 15 years. And I remember all I wanted was freedom. And everything in my outside world was the opposite of freedom. I was in a ton of debt. I was 150,000 in debt. I was overweight. I had just lost my job. And I had been studying this for 3 years, and nothing had changed. And I really was working hard at it. But that's why it tells you it's not a matter of how hard you work, it's how smart you work. And it's about the implementation of the ideas. Anyway, I met a mentor who became a dear friend and lifelong. I didn't know at that time how much my life was about to change by leaning into my fears and leading into my uncomfortableness. But I knew when I lost my job, my life changed when I changed my philosophy. If you've ever watched me before, I've talked a lot about philosophy because that's another thing that's dear to my heart. The minute I lost my job, and it was 3 weeks before my wedding, and I said, I've got to work on me. There's something, I'm the problem. And at that point, my life changed like this. I mean, it really did. Even though the results didn't change, my thinking changed once I took responsibility. Anyhow, I met Bob Proctor through a mutual acquaintance. And Bob got on the phone with me and he said, what is it that you want? And I said, I don't really know. I said, this is my results. I kept telling him what was going wrong. And he said, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, what do you really want? And I said, I want freedom. And that just came out of my mouth. And he said, well, that's what we focus on. And he said, are you willing to do exactly what I tell you to do? And I said, I'm not sure. I said, this is what I could tell you. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. And one of the things Bob and I discovered about me is that I was very good at accepting his ideas. I was very good at accepting ideas. When you accept an idea, it seeps deep inside of you. And what you're doing is you're giving your subconscious that it's already done. So I said, I have no discipline. And he said, that's because you have no direction. He said, the only thing between winning and losing is the type of goals you set and the type of direction you get. And he said, I want you to only thing you think about is freedom. You only think about freedom. And that's all I thought about. You know, I have people ask me all the time, well, I want to create freedom, but my results, I'm paycheck to paycheck, or I don't have any money. That has nothing to do with freedom. That's based on the past. Freedom is the development of you. Freedom is not money. Money is an attribute of your thinking. It's an effect. It's not the cause. And people keep going to money. That's not accurate. And you're always going to be chasing money, and you're not going to create freedom. Freedom is a peace of mind. And right now, I want you to fall in love with the idea that you can create freedom. And I want you to really fall in love with that. See, we've got to understand us. See, we're creators. Nothing comes to us. Everything comes from us. And we've got to get that. We're the architect of our life. And right now, you've got to make a decision. I don't care what your results are. Whatever's happened to this point, good, bad, or indifferent, does not matter. What matters is what happens from here on out. So let's say somebody created a lot of success, but now they're waffling. They're complacent. Well, that person's in danger. That person's in danger of falling pretty dramatically. And let's say somebody's really been struggling, but they're so inspirationally dissatisfied. They were like me. They were sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, that person is going to change the world. I'm going to tell you that right now. So let's understand what freedom is. It's peace of mind, it's fulfillment, and it's contribution. Now, this last part, contribution, is in direct proportion to the amount of money you're earning right now. Now, I want you to look at the money you're earning right now. That is in exact proportion to the service you're rendering. Well, you may be sitting there saying, well, how can I serve better? Well, who do you serve? People. How much do you like people? How well do you serve the people? That's how you're going to change your income. And if I'm telling you, this is where most people are frustrated. They don't understand this. They're looking outside of them. I want you to look inside. I want you to understand this. See, when you're tense, you're always working from the outside in, and the mind stops working for you. It starts working against you. The door of the soul opens up inward. When we go inside and we say, I'm going to focus on one thing, and your soul and the whole universe will get your back. Now, I want that one thing that is the most important thing to you. I get questions all the time. Can I focus on 3 things? You can focus on whatever you want. But if you want it and you want to create a successful life, it's going to be about one thing and your ability to solve problems. Freedom is about your ability to solve problems. See, successful people and unsuccessful people have the same issue. They both have problem. Successful people go inward and have a great perception of the problem, a great attitude. And so they're contributing at a much higher level. Now, I'm going to take you back. When I met my mentor, he said, I'm going to tell you 2 things that you have to do. You've got to make an irrevocable, committed decision that you are not going to let your current results control your thinking. He goes, it's going to be hard, but it's essential. And he says, you've got to understand the laws of the universe in your mind. And he said, if you keep letting the outside control you, nothing's going to change. Well, I'm going to get into that throughout these next few days, but I will tell you, if you're sitting there right now hoping and wishing that this is going to work, open your heart, make a decision right now, and then say thank you to yourself that this is going to be the the leap that you're going to take. That you are not just going to listen to me, you're going to implement the ideas. You know, at Voss Coaching Co., we have a motto, do the work. Anybody who's in our elite coaching programs, it's all about do the work. See, the work works if you work the ideas. And they do not work if you don't take action. And we don't want you to just take action. We want you to take action like a dog, like action that you are already at your goal, not where you are right now. See, that's based on the past. That's based on other people's story. We want you to come with some swagger. We want you to come with some attitude towards yourself because you have it inside of you. You have pure perfection inside of you. Now let's ask ourselves, I want you to really think about what I'm saying. Are you committed right now to creating freedom? Or are you committed to the suffering? Now let's look at some of those traits. If someone is committed to the suffering, they're letting other people's opinions of them control their thinking. They're letting the results control them. They're looking at what's wrong in life. They're talking about what's wrong. All they see is what's wrong. They're a victim. They're constantly making excuses. The person that is committed to the freedom, they're saying, I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. This is what I'm doing. I'm leaning in. And it's not about gathering more information. It's about acting on the information. It's about making your behaviors in harmony with your result. It's about betting on yourself. It's about choosing in with an open heart. It's about understanding that you have to have a desire. See, if you have low energy right now, you don't have a desire. Desire is a release of energy. And we're going to get into wants and desires in the next few days. But ask yourself, am I committed to creating freedom or am I committed to the suffering? Now remember, you're the creator of your universe. Nothing happens to you, it happens from you. So your thoughts are what is critical that you get in control of. And this is about you, but we've got to understand you. I want you to understand who you are. See, you're a spiritual being living in a physical body that has been gifted an intellect. And how you've used that intellect to this point, the sum of all your thoughts, is a reflection of how your life is. So if I look at the jacket I'm wearing today, my office, that's a reflection of my thinking. No more, no less. See, we've got to start understanding us better. And as we understand us better, we're going to understand others better. So we're going to be able to serve better. And one of the things is, I want you to start understanding and studying you. Studying, what are my triggers that get me to sabotage myself? What are my triggers that get me to move? And start being aware of your unconscious. See, as you understand you, you are pure genius. There is nothing different than you than somebody, let's say, Michelangelo, Michael Jordan. You know, somebody who's created elite in their fields. There's nothing different. But we've got to start understanding us. See, you cannot create freedom operating from scarcity. And you definitely cannot create freedom coming from playing small. You've got to expand yourself, not contract yourself. Now, you right now have a choice. If you want to create freedom, you're going to create a world-class life for yourself. I'm talking about world-class experiences, world-class impact, world-class self-esteem. These are the behaviors that are going to create a world-class life, world-class leadership. You know, everyone is a leader, whether they know it or not, because we have to lead self first. Most people are following the 95%. They're following the masses. I want you to get away from the masses. I want you to stop conforming to the masses. See, if you let people's perceptions of you dictate your behaviors, you will never grow as a person. And freedom is impossible. So a lot of people might be tightening up here. You don't want to tighten up, you want to loosen up. You want to understand that if one person can do it, you could do it. So you have a choice. You could keep coming from your old program and keep doing the same thoughts, same actions, same beliefs, same results. Or you could say, I am really drawing a line in the sand. This is where I'm going. I am going, and I'm going to create a world-class life for my family and myself. I'm going to create a world-class life to prove to myself and to grow. I'm sick of playing it small. You know, I was sick of playing it small 15 years ago. I mean, I will tell you, that's when everything changed for me. And there was nothing in my physical reality that said, oh, this guy is going to win. Almost every area outside my relationship with my wife was the only thing going for me. You know, everything else was going the opposite direction because I wasn't controlling my mind. And why am I free now and I wasn't then? I had to wake up this giant inside of me. I had to wake up a desire. See, and that's what I want to wake you guys up with. And we have to build a new model. We cannot keep operating the same way, expecting different results. It is not going to happen. You have to think differently. The key for you is to build the mental equivalent of what you want. That means we behave in a certain way. And I'm not going to teach you what to think. That's not mentorship. I'm going to teach you how to think, teach you to think with enthusiasm, teach you to think with a great attitude. See, I want you to write right now on a piece of paper your biggest problem you're facing right now. Now, on the opposite side of that is the biggest opportunity you have. I want you to understand, if you have a really big problem right now, you are going to create some amazing things going forward if you lean in. But that means we've got to change our perception. We've got to change our attitude of ourselves. See, I want you to really understand this. I want you to think about a life of freedom. This is where you are here at the bottom X. The top X is freedom. I want you to really get this. Now, how are you going to get from down here to up here? Well, you're going to have to create some really good behaviors in order to do that. We're going to have to raise your image. And every one of these lines represents a lines of frequency. That's why this is called the freedom frequency. You have to understand that 99.999% of everything in our world is energy. And I want you coming up to the energy of what you want. See, in order to do that, you're going to have to master you. And you're going to have to master your behaviors. And here's the thing. Every master was a beginner at one time. So if you're thinking, oh, I've never done it, trust me, I get it. But you will by focusing on one idea at a time. Burn this in your mind. Wealth is a reflection of your thinking. Wealth is a reflection of the ideas you're implementing. That's what wealth is. Wealth is ideas. And what did I say? To live a successful life, you want to solve problems. Now, as you do that, you're going to start getting from your subconscious, it's going to start giving you which actions to take. So you can never connect the dots looking forward. So when we talk about goals tomorrow, I don't want you coming to your goals. I want you coming from your goals. See, creation is already finished. Everything you want is already here. So our job is to make the mental equivalent of what we want all day long. That doesn't mean I say, okay, Arash, I know what I want, then the rest of the day being worried, doubt, and fear. That is not the mental equivalent. See, everything works perfectly in this universe. Right now, if you look at all the people in your life, they're on the same frequency. If you look at your health, what you weigh, that's on a frequency. If you look at the types of ideas you're getting in your mind, that's on a frequency. So I want to teach you how to change your frequency. And as you do, you're going to create effortless success and you're going to make success automatic. I'm telling you this. You're going to make it automatic. But in order to do that, we have to master the power of 5. What is the power of 5? See, this is wealth. You can't see it, but this is what creates wealth. Decision. You've got to make an irrevocable decision every day that you're focused on that one big thing that you want more than anything else. We've got to get you clear, first of all, on exactly what you want. And then you make a decision that every day is day one. I want you to be hungrier tomorrow than you are today, because you have to be hungry. You have to really want it. And you have to make decisions and course correct what you're doing. Decision making makes or breaks the goal achievement process. And I told you earlier, I want you to make a definite decision that you are not letting the outside control you. Every time it starts controlling you, say, cancel, I don't accept that. And I want you to reaffirm what you want. Discipline. Discipline is the ability to focus only on what you want. And I will tell you this, I tell every client I work with this, I can guarantee you that you will achieve anything you want in your life if you do one thing. If you discipline your mind to focus all day long on what you want. I can guarantee, even if it sounds so far out of the blue, like Earl Nightingale used to always say, we become what we think about most of the time. He said that was the greatest part of him studying Think and Grow Rich. That's what he got out of it. See, I want you to hear what I said. I want you to discipline your mind, not let your mind discipline you. When we're letting our mind discipline us, we're coming from the outside in. Now, standard. Standard is how you raise your self-esteem. You live your standard. You say, this is where I'm going no matter what, and I'm not accepting anything under. Where you create clear, definite boundaries for yourself. And as you do that, you're going to bring your results up. You're going to bring the type of self-talk up. You're going to bring your language up. You're going to bring your behaviors up, and your environment's going to change. Live your standard. Your standard is your DNA to success. And everyone has one, but most people don't use it until they get pissed off enough. I want you to consciously use it. Image. Your image is your foundation. We can never outperform our image. Let's go back and look at your income. Your income is a direct reflection of your image. As you raise your image, your income is going to change. Well, look at the impact you're making. We never get paid more than the service we're rendering. So that means impact. Your impact will never outperform your image. Nothing outperforms your image. So we want to really work on that image. And then attitude. Attitude is everything. You have an attitude towards everything. And we're going to go deep into these next 2 days. But these are the invisible creators of wealth. They're the power of 5, and we get to master it. We get to master this. And as you do that, you're going to be so free. You're going to be so relaxed. And it's going to become so automatic. And here's the deal. You have to pay the price. That price is whatever it demands. Like, your goal has to be a relationship with you. Like, every time you are thinking about it all day long, you're breathing life into it. Everything is energy. And the more life you breathe into it, the quicker you're going to see how much your goal is coming to you, just as quickly as you're coming to the goal. Now, let's start here. If you ask 100 people what they want, 95 don't. And I told you, I want you to focus on one thing that you want more than anything in the world. For me, that one thing was freedom. Now, what do you really want? What do you really want? Not what I want for you. What do you want? What experiences would you like to have? What changes would you like to make? And why are your goals important to you? And then this is the most important one. Once we know what we want, what kind of person do I need to become to achieve all I want? What is that gap between where I am and where I want to be? That's the problem to solve. The problem is always us. The solution is always us. But we have to go there. We have to go there. And what you really want is going to impact your life more than anything that I could tell you. Because until we have a definite want and have a list of whys to that want, why do I want it? Because if our why is weak, when we face adversity, you're going to stop doing it. You're going to stop doing the skills. You're going to stop doing the behaviors. You're going to stop doing the persistent action. So what you really want has to be in the forefront of your mind. What do you really want? I was telling my, I have a mastermind course that I deliver, and I was working with them last week, and I said, if I asked you, what do you how's your day going? People will say, oh, it's good. And then a week later, I ask them, they go, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, my neck. They go, oh, you wouldn't believe it's cold out. They will tell you exactly to the T what they don't want. Why? Because that's how the programming started. See, we've got to start focusing only on what we want. And we want to make a list and get a book. Like I have a book right here that has all my wants in it. In this book, I have all my wants. Get a book and write what you want. Every time a want comes in, let's plant hundreds of seeds. It's not going to be our main thing, but we write it in the present tense and we say thank you. When we say thank you, we're accepting that. And we're giving our subconscious, it's done. It is mine. So what do you really want? I want you from this point to discipline yourself to stop affirming what you don't want. Now, and don't downsize what the universe wants to give you. Expand yourself. Open your heart. When you open your heart, I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing what you're going to get. We want to understand, and I'll go into this later, but the law of your being is for perpetual increase. It's to grow. It is to expand. It's to experience better things. That's the law of our being. Now, I want you to think about this. If you were living a life of freedom right now, how would you feel? I want you to think about this. I want you to think, you and I were talking an hour after you achieve what you did for you, what your relationship to freedom is. How would you feel? I want you to keep visualizing. When you're visualizing, I don't want you to visualize to the goal. I want you to open up your imagination and visualize from the goal and visualize what it would feel like an hour after you have achieved freedom. An hour after that you multiplied your effectiveness, whatever it is. Well, understand you're going to have to feel those feelings before it happens. If you're feeling scarce, if you're feeling insecure, we have to change that. We've got to understand you can't create abundance coming from scarcity. We can't create a prosperity consciousness coming from lack and limitation, a poverty consciousness. Now, make your future a magnificent obsession. People always say, oh, obsessions are bad. Yeah, that's if you have a bad obsession. I want your vision of where you're going, your goal, to be an absolute magnificent obsession that every day you get up before the alarm goes off because you're so fired up to start the day. And the first thing you do is you get into gratitude that I'm so grateful that I have achieved a life of freedom. I am so grateful that I understand myself. I'm so grateful that I'm living and impacting so many people. Make your future a magnificent obsession. In order to do that, you always start by writing out a script of your life. Not how you think it could be. We work in limitless. There's no limits until you put it in your mind. I want you to write it out with such great detail of how you're going to live. And you record this and you listen to it to start your day. This is what's going to create your mind to keep focusing only on what you want. This is your magnificent obsession. Now, you can absolutely create your own economy. And in order to be free, you will have to create your own economy. See, if you're in a job right now and you've been in a job for 20, 15, 10 years and you think that's security, I promise you, a job is not security. There's 1,000 different reasons people can be let go that has nothing to do with their performance. Security is an inside job. Freedom is an inside job. We want to build our foundations. What is our foundations? Our image, our standard, our attitude, our discipline, and our decision-making. And I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to get emotionally involved in this idea. You can absolutely create your own economy. You can absolutely turn your annual income into your monthly income. You can, in the next quarter, we're about to start the second quarter. This second quarter, you can 10x what you did in the first quarter if you are really locked in, if you really make a commitment to yourself. Now, commitments are easy to make. They're hard to live it. That's why we make irrevocable decisions with commitment. Now, I want everybody to understand if this is what you want, you can have a millionaire consciousness. But what is consciousness? It's thinking and feeling like a millionaire. That's a millionaire consciousness. If you want a health conscious, you think and feel like a healthy person. So you match those behaviors. Now, if you're saying, I want you to think about what your attitude was when you saw this, that will tell you what your programming is. And we are run by our program. Now, I want you to accept this idea if you want it. If you did, just say thank you, and you start working on you. That's freedom. Now, let's understand what success is. Success is going to be the ability to lead yourself. So no more victimhood, no more excuses. No more, they have it, but I don't. They can do it, but I can't. None of that. You take extreme ownership. The ability to sell yourself on your goal. Every day you accept the idea. Every day you do your goal, your morning routines that are going to install and build your self-esteem. And then every day is going to be about the ability to develop yourself. Remember this. Always develop yourself. Always focus on how you can get better today. This isn't just, oh, this sounds good. No, that is essential. See, there's a commonality of elite performers. They are obsessed with developing themselves. They're constantly thinking how they can impact greater. How can they can solve more problems? And it's always about them. It's never about, oh, they did this to me. They go inside and understand that the only thing they can take care of is themselves. That's the problem. So in order to understand us, we've got to understand, and this is a big idea, that you are infinite. There's no end to where you could take yourself. But in order to do that, we've got to get you to understand you. Now, I want you to think about this. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. So it requires no modification or improvement. That means that right at the core of you is perfection. The essence of you is perfection. Our job is to become more and more aware of that perfection. Now, we have so much genius inside of us. Do I think we're going to access every ounce of potential? I don't. Now, I'm not sure if we will. But there's so much. That's why I say I don't. We've got to understand we're all knowing. See, every part in the universe you're connected to, it's all knowing. You can go access anything. That's why you get that idea out of the blue. Well, out of the blue isn't out of the blue. It's coming from your subjective mind. And your subconscious mind is always talking to you, but are you listening to it? It is all knowing. See, you're never without anything you need. So if you think I need something, you don't. It is all powerful. You have access to all the power in the world. I mean, all you have to do is look at how much technology has changed, where you see how powerful it is, and it's no different than our mind. See, so you want to understand when you're going after your goal that you have access to everything you need. It's just that you've got to open yourself up to access that information. It is ever present. It is everywhere. I have just as much access from where I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, or if I was on the other side of the world. You have the same, it's everywhere. And it is the real you. What we have to ask ourselves to understand ourselves, are you truly what and who you pretend to be? I want you to really ask that. I want you to think about freedom. How am I behaving? What is the gap? Am I really what I'm pretending to be? And I will tell you, you want to be raw with yourself. You want to be real with yourself. You want to be honest with yourself. Most people are not honest with themselves. They're constantly digging their head in the sand, running away from reality. They're running away from their present circumstances instead of understanding that they can change circumstances. How do you change circumstances? By changing you. See, and we've got to have one of heaven's first law is order. We have to have order in our mind. See, most people, I will tell you, if you're not getting what you want, it's because your mind is in chaos. It's sending a double binding message. So we have to understand how our mind works. Now, this is one of the most important things that I could teach you. My mentor told me it was the number one idea that he ever learned. And, for so long, I didn't understand it. And then when I got it, it was like, oh my gosh, this has been such a missing piece for me. So I want you to look at this is you. And there's three parts of you. You have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind, and you have a body. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind. It's your educated mind. It's where your intellect resides. Now, what did I say earlier? I said we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, and we're gifted with an intellect. Your intellect is what's creating your world, how you're using it, how you're developing it. Now, your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. It creates 96 to 98% of all your results, perceptions, and behaviors. So we've got to understand, we've got to be very careful what we're putting in our subconscious mind. Most people are putting it in because they're not thinking. They don't even know what they're putting in. So we've got to discipline our thinking. Now, our conscious mind, we could choose any idea we want. And this is where it blows my mind. Why would anybody choose what they don't want over and over and over again? See, this is why people are stuck, because they keep choosing based on the outside. They're letting the outside dictate their identity. I want you to choose what's worthy of you. Choose awesome ideas, build ideas, and you do that in your conscious mind. You accept or reject. Now, this is how you build discipline. And this is really where discipline is going to aid you to creating effortless success. From this moment on, you give yourself a command. That's what discipline is giving ourselves a command that we are only accepting what we want. We are, anytime an idea comes that we don't want, we say a hard no. Say, no, I do not accept that. I do not accept this. I want you practicing today, accepting and rejecting ideas. Anything that is not what you want, you say no. You say, absolutely not. I do not accept that. See, because here's what you want to understand. When you do not reject an idea, you accept it because your subconscious can only accept. And our conscious mind originates ideas. We can originate the most amazing ideas. That's what I want you to do to create your magnificent obsession of your future. See, victims focus on the past and focus on why they're not where they want to be. Leaders focus on their future. I want you focusing on your future, and you create your future in the present. So lock in every day and you're creating an amazing future, depending on if you're focusing on what you want. Now, our subconscious cannot reject. So if you say, oh, that was so stupid, your subconscious just hears stupid, and it's showing you ways that you could feel stupid. See, we have got to get this. Your subconscious does not care whether you succeed or fail. It is impersonal. You are the architect of your life. And this is where discipline comes in. This is going to shift your energy so much. Now, and it does not know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. This is why we want to start mentally rehearsing the behaviors we already have of where our goal is. And as you're doing that with your eyes closed, you're creating a synthetic experience. And then you create a visceral experience where you actually feel like that person. The rest of the day, you act as that person. That's the key. That's called creating the mental equivalent of what you want. Now, right now, you're not here for the heck of it. You're here because you want to create a massive jump. And I will tell you, you can absolutely create a massive jump. And there's another version inside of you that knows how to do 10 times better. Right now, it knows how to. See, than what you're currently doing. Our job is to allow that person out. How do we allow it out? We set bigger goals. We set goals that are worthy of us. We neutralize our mind where we're not letting the senses, letting the outside control us and say, oh, don't set that goal too high because you've never done it before. Oh, there is, people are struggling right now. You should be grateful for where you are. You should always be grateful, but never satisfied. We are here. What did I say? The law of our being is perpetual increase. We're here to expand, not contract. And this is, in order to do this, you have to build a bigger idea of yourself. I want you to ask yourself this. What idea do I have of myself? We want to really get really good. I'm going to give you a behavior of freedom. I'm going to give it right now. You ask yourself a lot of really great questions. You know what's not freedom? Acting on ideas. That's not freedom. And if you don't start acting on ideas, you're not going to create freedom. One idea that I want you to act on every day is build a bigger idea of yourself. Build a bigger idea of yourself, because if you are here and this is where freedom is, you're going to have to raise your characteristics and change your personality. We're going to have to build discipline. We're going to have to build a positive mental attitude. We're going to have to build a significant standard. We're going to make decisions because we trust ourselves. Within a millisecond, we know whether it's for us or not for us. That's where we decide on our decision. Is this expanding me and growing me, or is it contracting me? Now, this is so simple to change your results, and it's so misunderstood. Success is about falling in love with an idea and accepting it. It is done, and then getting 1% better every day. If anybody, and I challenge you to come back to me and do this and you don't get results. If you take your actions 1% greater every day, you're thinking 1% greater every day, your behaviors 1% greater every day, compounded over time, you're going to create the most amazing results. It's just people reject it because they think, oh, I got to go 10% today. See, and I'm talking to you right now. If you're not acting on your ideas, you're actually weakening your image. You're taking it backwards. Do not overthink. Overthinking is such a bad idea. Overthinking is a waste of energy. It's somebody that does not trust themselves. How do you learn? You learn through your mistakes. You don't learn through your wins. You learn through your losses. And when I said paying the price, in order to pay the price, you've got to be willing to lose to win. So are you willing to lose to create freedom? See, that is a trait that you're going to have where you're not rigid. You go after what you want with an open heart. Now, in order to do this, we have to fall in love with the process of becoming the best version of ourselves. That's what we do daily. These are our processes. We have to instill amazing processes. That's a morning routine. That's routines on what is our process to break plateau? What is our process to create a quantum leap? What is our process to break a bad attitude? See, as we're developing these, we're becoming the best version of ourselves. Now, results always tell the truth. Not sometimes, always. And we want to look at the results. We don't want to get emotionally involved in them. We want to be aware of them, because that's going to tell us what our plan we need to change. See, I've never operated with a plan that's been perfect the whole way. I have had to adjust my plan all the time. See, I never changed my goal, but I changed my plan. See, but I did that by being aware of what the results were telling me. See, if the results are telling you something over a period of time and you don't change what you're doing, that's delusion. See, we've got to understand your goal is on a frequency and your imagination takes you there. Now, our job is to stay there. So we've got to lock in on our behaviors. Now, so are you running from your results? Are you running from them right now? Or are you looking at them saying, okay, this is really a gut punch, or this is amazing what I'm doing? You're going to have, if you're looking at them, you're going to see all different types. But I don't want you to run from them because they're telling you a story. The results are telling you a compass of your life. They're telling you what's going on inside. So that always tells us what part of us that we want to adjust. Now, I want you to look at this. This is where you are. You are here. And these lines represent levels of frequency. Now, your goal is up here. Now, here are the problems you're going to have to solve to get from where you are to where you want to go. And there is a brick wall in front of you. And that brick wall is your paradigm. That brick wall is your old programming. That brick wall could be programming generations that you're still holding on to. So most people keep running into this brick wall every day, over and over and over again. They go, oh, this doesn't work. Well, everything works by law, not luck. So if it works for one person, it works for anybody. So if you're saying that, then you're a victim. Victims don't win. I'm telling you this right now. So where we want to do is take responsibility. How do we break through the brick wall? We make an irrevocable, committed decision. This is my goal. This is where I'm going. And you knock that brick wall down. Now, it doesn't guarantee you're going to get to where you want to go because you still have work to do. You still have actions to take. And you still have behaviors to develop. And you still have to master the Power of 5. But as you make that decision, you've now given yourself a space to walk through to your goal. And you will have an open space there. So this is why decision-making is so important to change your programming. Now, we have to understand what a paradigm is. A paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. It's our belief system. Our paradigm is the primary cause of our result. It impacts all areas of our life. It impacts our ability to earn money. It impacts our use of time. It impacts our health. It impacts how your relationship with money is. It is controlling everything. And 95% of our day is run by a program. This is the program it's run by. Now, you may have good programs in there, but the ones we're working on to changing are the ones that are creating limited belief systems, limiting beliefs. We want to create empowering beliefs. How do you do that? By standard. When you have a standard, that's how you change limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs. You say, no, I'm not accepting this. And you start working and building that belief one identity-based behavior at a time. Now, let's look at this. To create freedom, and you have to understand this, and to create great wealth, this is where you are, and this is where you're going. Now, in order to do that, once again, we have an opportunity here. We get to solve problems. And I hope you have an amazing problem to solve because you're going to get amazing results. It's so simple and it's so obvious. Why are so many people stuck? It's because they are trying to go somewhere much greater, but they're not changing their thinking. They're thinking the same thoughts. They're surrounded by the same environment. They're doing the same types of actions that they're comfortable with. So they're never going to get to where they want to go. They're operating from the same program. That program is not going to take you there. You have to create a new program. And that takes conscious thinking. That takes discipline. I hope you're understanding why I keep bringing and identifying the parts of the Power of 5 this impacts. We've got to get that mastered. Your paradigms are controlling you. You can achieve anything you want. But in order to do that, you've got to change the program. And in order to change the program, it takes repetition. And you want to fall in love with repetition. Fall in love like you were a child. The children love repetition. They'll do it over and over and over again. And that's what we have to do. That's how you change the paradigm. There's only two ways we change it. We change it, one, through spaced repetition and elite level coaching. The second way is an emotional impact. 9 out of 10 times an emotional impact is something negative that happens. So, and a repetition is illogical. Like, why? I remember my mentor would tell me, I keep reading the same book. And he told me, he said, I want you to read 5 paragraphs every day for 90 days. And he goes, I want you to read these 5 paragraphs 5 times a day. He goes, you're going to resist it like you wouldn't believe. He said, because it's so illogical to the paradigm. The paradigm wants more, do more stuff, do 10 activities a day. But the paradigm is trying to keep you stuck. You want to understand that. So you want to understand when you're rationalizing, you're coming from the program, you're coming from the old paradigm. And you want to understand that in order to change it, you've got to come from the new paradigm. How do you do that? Through repetition. You do it over and over and over again. And finally, you break through and you rewire your mind to get in harmony on our conscious, subconscious, and physical, and you're going to see a result change. Now, it's the law of learning. It's the mother of learning. Repetition, I want you to fall in love with. Now, let's take a look at what happens with paradigms and how to change them. This is your mind. And the top half is your conscious mind. The bottom half is your subconscious mind. And the little circle on the bottom is your body. Now, you have your senses, your see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. They are so sensitive. They're antennas connected to your subconscious mind. And this is what your paradigm feeds. It goes and says, see, it hasn't changed. It's been 3 days. It hasn't changed. Why are you doing this? Go look at the outside. Go conform. It communicates to you through your senses, and your senses are sensitive. This is why we have to develop awareness. Now, your conscious mind is your intellectual mind. Our intellect is what we have to develop. That is what is creating our results. Now, our emotional mind is our subconscious. It creates 96 to 98% of our results. And whatever is in our emotional mind puts our body into a vibration. And our vibration dictates not just what we attract, but what our action is, how we act, how we behave. Now, we have higher faculties. We have our memory, our perception, our will, our imagination, our intuition, and our reasoning. These are our higher faculties. These are our superpowers. Now, most people have no idea. There may be some of you have no idea what I'm talking about with higher faculties. But your higher faculties is how you change your paradigms. They're in your conscious mind. So we want to understand them. How can we use them for us instead of against us? Our memory. Go back and look at the successes you've had in your life. That's how you activate your success mechanism. Reason, our ability to think. Everything is developed around your reason. See, a lot of people are thinking. No, they have mental activity. Thinking is thinking what you want regardless of the appearance. That's thinking. Our perception bulletproofs our attitude. I said earlier, write out a problem and ask yourself, what is my perception towards this? What is my attitude? Perception is how you bulletproof your attitude. One of the power of 5. See, everything is a perception. Most people's perception is dictated by their paradigm. So we want to bulletproof this perception. We only look for the good. We look, how can I? That's how we use this faculty. You know, Wayne Dyer used to say it beautifully. He said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. Our will is so locked into our focus. And focus is one of the best freedom behaviors you could create. Our will holds one idea on the screen of your mind without the exclusion of any other idea. And this is why I told you, I want you to focus only on the most important thing you want to achieve, that one idea. Why? Because our conscious mind, through our will, can only hold one idea at a time. Our subconscious can get millions of ideas, but our conscious mind can only hold one. So I want you to not put out vague requests. Put out what you really want. Our intuition, this is our connection to our creator. This is our connection to the whole universe. This is our sixth sense. This is why we're talking about frequencies. See, your intuition is always communicating, but are you listening? Are you doubting it? If you start doubting it, the voice gets quieter and quieter and quieter. My intuition is so loud. Like I can hear something so clearly because I've developed this faculty. And our imagination is our most miraculous, marvelous tool, like Napoleon Hill said. Our imagination takes us there. As soon as I think a thought, it thinks in pictures, I go there. See, these 6 are your superpowers. Stop focusing and thinking, oh, I need something outside of me. No, we need to develop these. Spend 30, 60 days on one and then go to the other. They're all just as important. There's not one that is more important than the other. Now, there's a couple that you probably already unconsciously have mastered. So focus on the one that will give you the greatest impact. And as you do that, the paradigm's knocked away and you're operating with a new program. You're thinking differently. The type of actions are different. Watch the people you draw in your life. And that's how you change it. Now, what we want to do is understand this. This is so easy to understand. This is a black and white deal. It does not matter how hard you work. It does not matter how many hours you put in. If the program does not change, your results will remain the same from one year to the next. So if you have not changed your results over the last 6 months, over the last 12 months, for me, it's 6 months, then you're operating from the old program. I'm telling you this right now. You're operating from the old program. When you are changing your program, the universe is going to give you signs. That's where the out of the blue ideas start coming in. And you're going to see it in your environment. You're going to get signs because the universe wants to let you know you're on track. But I'm telling you, if it's 6 months and your results are the exact same, you haven't changed the program. That's what I did for 3 years. I never changed the program. I kept studying, kept doing it, but nothing changed. Why? Because I wasn't transferring it to my subjective mind. We have to transfer it. And this is what we have to understand. Our want, that thing that I'm asking you to really bring out of you, what is that one thing you really want? That one thing. Our want, for me, it was freedom. I take you back 15 years ago. I had this want in my heart that I wanted to live my life on my terms, doing what I wanted, when I wanted, with whomever I wanted, as often as I wanted. I wanted to live free. That was my want. And that message got transferred to my conscious mind. With my imagination, I accepted it. I said, this is what I'm going to work on. This is the one thing I'm going to work on. And then I fell in love with this idea. I fell in love with it. All I thought about everywhere I went was freedom. So I accepted that want. I said, thank you. When you accept an idea, it's yours. You say, thank you. See, most people will get a great idea, something so expansive that will really stretch them, but they say, oh, that's not for me. That's going to take a lot of work. That's not for me. First of all, it's going to take however much work it's going to take, but the work is effortless when you fall in love with it. You won't even look at it like that. See, what we want to do is accept our want, and then we give it back to our subconscious through repetition. And we have to turn that want into a desire. See, what I want you to do is I want you to think about what you really want and put it in the present tense in a concise statement. So let's say for somebody sitting on here, freedom is the freedom, the way they understand it is money, even though freedom is so many things. They say, if I was earning 100,000 or more every month, I'd be free. So what I instruct you to do, if that is you, you could work with the numbers however you want. You say, I'm so happy and grateful now. We're using gratitude because gratitude initiates abundance. It's a vibration of abundance. You say, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 100,000 or more every month, and I love it. I am happy, I am healthy, and I am wealthy. Thank you, God, it is done. You say, thank you, that's yours. And every 3 hours, you put an alarm on your phone that goes off. And for 2 minutes, you repeat that. And then for 1 minute, you visualize your behaviors an hour after you achieve that. That's how you turn the want into a desire. Once it's a desire, it's a done deal. This is our job. Our job is to develop it into a desire. Our job is to be humble and hungry. Our job, once it's a desire, it's not just in your subconscious mind, it's in the whole universe. And the universal subconscious will bring everything in your favor to make this reality. Once it's a desire, I don't care what it is, you're going to get what you want. Now, my question to you is, do you have desires you want, or are you focusing on what you don't want that you created a desire? Most people have desires. They're using it reverse. They're bringing what they don't want because they're focused on what they don't have. That's a desire as well. So be very careful, because whatever you plant in your subconscious and turn it into a desire, it is going to alter your vibration, and your vibration is going to dictate what you attract through your conditions, circumstances, and environment. Now, we want to really understand this. See, this is what most people are doing when they're connected to their paradigm. They say, listen, Arash, I have a goal. I want to live a life of freedom. That's all I'm thinking about is freedom. And they have these 5 senses, and they look at the results. They go, oh God, after a few days, they forgot about freedom. And they say, this is really controlling me. I am really, nothing is changing. Why isn't anything changing? Well, the minute they did that, they dug up their seed. They let the result dictate their attitude, and your attitude controls what you achieve in your life. And what happens, that attitude created an image of what they didn't want. So they have an image of what they didn't want, their present results. So they're thinking same thoughts, which is creating the same feelings. And what is feeling? Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. That's what a feeling is. And the feeling produces a vibration that dictates the same action, same results. It's a fulfilling cycle of doom. And it's going to keep creating the same over and over again. We have to only think about what we want, or else our dream is going to fade away. And it's going to constantly fade away. And it's going to go away and away. This is why we have to detach from our five senses. When we're operating from this, I'm telling you, this is the biggest trick I can give you. When you start feeling bad, you're operating from your five senses. You're letting something outside of you control you. And we want to say, no, I do not accept this. I understand what the result is, but I'm going to only focus on what I want. That's why that every 3-hour tool I just gave you is going to be magical for you. If you do it. Remember, this is the funny thing about discipline. Disciplines are easy to do and they're easy not to do. Now, let's talk about money. Let's talk about your program around money. I want you to ask yourself this. When I lose money, how do I feel? When I receive money, how do I feel? Why I'm asking you to do this is ask yourself, am I attached to money? Am I chasing money? See, if you are chasing money, I'm telling you, I used to chase money. When early on, I was in such a bad position. I didn't know I was chasing it, but I was so attached to it. Even though I created abundance, I was so scarce in my heart. It was false. It was false abundance for me. I was letting the attachment control my thinking. So I knew I needed to make a change. So I healed my relationship to money. See, money is one form of freedom. The power of 5 is a much greater form of freedom. Freedom is invisible. Wealth is invisible. I want you to get this. And I want you to understand that to earn a lot of money, it takes a great deal of courage. That means you've got to be willing to bet on yourself. That means you've got to be willing to stretch. And I want everybody to have an avalanche of prosperity into their life, because you're going to be able to experience all life has to offer. But you can't be playing it small to do that. The first thing we have to do is get an understanding of what money is, and we have to change this. See, if you create a healthy relationship to money, everything is going to change for you. When you stop wanting the money, you will attract it to you. When you stop being attached to it, you will attract it to you. When you are letting your attitude being dictated by it and are chasing it, you'll feel good when you have it, and you'll feel just as bad when you don't have it. Or you'll get a lot of money and then you lose it because you have not developed the understanding of it. Money, like Napoleon Hill used to write, money is shy and timid. It must be attracted. He said, poverty is bold and ruthless. Anybody can have that. See, you want to look at it as if I was money and I went to lunch with you. I want you to pretend for a moment I'm money and we went to lunch, and you're telling me money is the root of all evil. Money only comes to certain people. I can never have it. Money doesn't grow on trees. I would never have another lunch meeting with you. Well, a lot of people are wanting money, but they're talking so badly about it. I had somebody yesterday on my Instagram send me, I was laughing because I was like, man, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And he said, I love money, but money doesn't love me. What a terrible belief. Money's energy. So you have to heal that. The difference between somebody that has a little bit of money and somebody who has a lot, the person who has a lot has healed their money wounds. You have to have a great relationship with it. See, and we have to understand what I talked about earlier. Your rewards are going to be in direct proportion to the service you render. That's the law of compensation. The law of compensation it works directly in harmony with the law of cause and effect. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. So how are you serving? If I was sitting there with you and you said, Arash, I want to really transform my income, I would tell you right now, you have to master this law. That means you have to love people. You have to understand people, but in order to understand people, you've got to understand yourself and you've got to work in harmony with this law. The law of compensation states that you get paid in direct proportion, exact proportion to the service you render. I want you to get that exact proportion. Your ability to render the service and the need for it in the marketplace. The most important thing is your ability to do it. So you've got to practice your craft. You've got to look at what you're doing as an absolute artist. And when you do it and you serve, you're going to have more money and more avalanches of abundance that you're going to be like, where was this? See, but this is where, I don't know, 80, 90% of the people who are frustrated don't understand. It's about serving. It's about living on that extra mile. It's about understanding right now, all of us are in the middle of our acres of diamonds. So where is your acres of diamonds in serving? I want you to ask yourself that. When you get that, big money is going to show up in your life. I don't mean a little money. I'm talking avalanches of abundance. But we want to get to understand it. Money is a reflection of your behaviors. Behaviors are going to get you to the effect. The effect is money. Money is not the cause. The whole purpose of money is you create a financial goal, you embed it in your subjective mind, so your subconscious gets direction, and then you let it go and you focus on serving. And then the next day you say, I'm making a decision. I have a financial goal I want to achieve. You embed it in your subconscious, you let it go, and you focus on how I can serve, how I can behave. So ask yourself, do my behaviors scream success? And I'll tell you, 98% of the population think money is the cause. It is not the cause. That's why they keep creating poor results. Money is always the effect. Money is energy. It's not the currency we see. The currency is the effect. Money is the idea. That's what we want to lock in. And money is a consciousness, and it must be earned. If you're going to create it over and over and over again and really create as an elite performer, that's what you will get the effect of the good you're doing in the marketplace. It has to be earned. So I want you to stop cutting corners and understand, if you want to create a shortcut to success, it's in doing the work. It's working the ideas. It's building the Power Five. It's creating a great relationship with money. It's creating a great relationship with yourself. Money is no different than any other relationship in your life. You treat it like crap, it's going to go away. So go in and do the work to heal it. Now, listen to what Waddle says. He says, the riches you receive will be in exact proportion, law of compensation, to the definiteness of your vision, magnificent obsession, the fixity of your purpose, locking in with focus. I only focus on my one want over and over and over again. And the steadiness of your faith. Faith without action is delusion. And the depth of your gratitude. Gratitude initiates abundance. I'm going to do this again. You guys got to get this. This is everything in this slide. The riches you receive will be in exact proportion. That is the law of compensation we just went over, the service. To the definiteness of your vision, your magnificent obsession. I am focused on what I really, really want. The fixity of your purpose, you're locking in on your goal. You are locking in on the number one thing you really want. And the steadiness of your faith, where you're operating with an attitude of faith, and faith is the highest attitude, and faith only works with action. Faith without action is delusion. And then the depth of your gratitude, you feel it. You're so grateful ahead of time that I'm so grateful an hour after that I've already achieved it. See, you want to watch that over and over again. Now let's ask ourselves, what is your relationship with money? See, money is a great servant, but a horrible master. Most people are slaves to money. Is that your relationship with it? Money is here to be an obedient servant. Money is here so it can keep coming to you while you're sleeping. But in order to create that, we've got to work on ideas. Well, ideas don't come without taking control of our mind. We've got to take control of our conscious mind, our ability to accept and reject, the ability to originate ideas. And we want to understand this. See, most people are chasing it. I don't want you to chase it. I want you to understand it is just one form of freedom. The greatest form of freedom is you. The greatest form of security is you. It's not outside of you. And we've got to get this. See, and if you want to heal your money relationship, we have to remove the scarcity, the lack in our heart. What is that? We have to open our mind and heart towards what we really want. But in order to go in and open our heart, we have to get rid of and do the inside work. What does that mean? We have to get rid of resentment. We have to get rid of old stories. We have to get rid of being stuck because I failed at one thing, I'm not going to try it again. We have to go and purify our heart. When you purify your heart, now we said your spiritual DNA is perfect. Now you're eliminating the virus code, and that's through poor thinking. This is why it's about how you think. Now, what is your philosophy on money? See, I changed my philosophy on money years ago. 15 years ago is when I changed it. I understood money was a direct relationship to my thinking, to the ideas, to the amount of consistency I created in my life. Like if I could tell you one habit of freedom of elite performers, and I'm talking the 0.1% of performers, they do it every day, consistency. But what is your philosophy on money? Is it hard to get? Does it come from expected and unexpected sources? Is money the root of all evil? Are you attached to it? I want you to rewrite your money philosophy towards how you want it to be. Because the more you have, the more good you're going to do. Your good is going to stretch so far, the more you have. Now, I want you to love money. I want you to get this. And I might be hitting some people in a real sensitive area. It's just energy. You love it. And you become comfortable with the idea of money in your life. Like if you're a salesperson right now and you have a hard time asking for the sale, or you drop price constantly, you have a bad relationship with money. You don't understand it. Money is just the effect. It is not the cause. But we have to heal it or else it's going the other way. So never do what I shared with you. Never say, I love money, but money doesn't love me. I promise you, you just told your subjective mind, I want you to sprint the other way. Never do it. It is very dangerous. Now let's go back to our programming. Does $1 million seem like a lot of money to you? Now, for some it may, for some it may not. It doesn't matter, but I want to make it where it's no different to you than $1,000. It's no different. We want to make it so ridiculously small. And as you do it, you could change it. And I could tell you, if I can do that, you could definitely do it. I told you my story. I had a foreclosure sticker on my garage, $150,000 in debt, 3 weeks before my wedding, lost my job. How in a couple years did I go and now earn $1 million? Because I got the right mentorship. I took the right actions. I developed my Power 5. I stretched and I was willing to pay the price. And I changed my relationship with a lot of things. See, and if you want more money in your life, we've got to circulate it. We've got to let it go. That's why I asked the question, how is it when you lose money? How is it when you receive money? Do you circulate money in your life? The law of life is circulation. So make sure you're circulating it or else you are going to take it the other way. Now, I love what Earl Nightingale says. He says, most people think they want more than they really do, and they settle for a lot less than they could earn. This is standard. Get locked in. This is my goal. I am not settling. I am not dropping because the outside tells me this. I am not dropping because I have set a goal before and I haven't done it. Understand, I hadn't done it for 3 years, but I never lost persistence. Almost did, but something kept me going. And I will tell you what persistence is. First of all, it is so important to develop, but persistence is a reflection of how you believe in yourself. Now, I want you to understand this. Money is always there for you, but what you do with it is based on your philosophy. That's why I said your imagination could take you there. There is a place. It is your philosophy. Once you change your philosophy, you change your thinking. Now, what is that paradigm again? Let's look at it. It's a mental program, so it's your relationship with one form of freedom, but freedom is you. We are very clear on that, but we want to change our program around it if you want a different result. And I promise you, you have a program. What did I say? What a paradigm is. It's a primary cause of our result. It impacts our ability to earn money. It impacts our use of time, our logic, our productivity, and our effectiveness. So create a great program around money and understand your problems are a gift. They're not happening to you. They're happening for you. And the bigger problem you solve, the bigger opportunity, the bigger success you're going to have. And your problems, only if you're emotionalizing them, they're a reflection of your paradigms. I want you to just relax. I want you to relax because when you're tense, you're coming from lack and limitation. And just relax and allow yourself to bring in the good that you desire. Now, let's look at this. This is an important one. Okay, money, and I want you to think of your relationship to money. You have a power flowing in and through you. And that power is a thought. Okay, that power is a thought. And you have a choice. You either accept it or reject it. And I want you to imagine that you're like, you know what? I am sick and tired of being in lack and limitation. I am setting a significant financial goal that I'm working at. And you have that financial goal. And you're reaffirming it and visualizing it every 3 hours. And you're putting it in your subjective mind those times. But the rest of the day, you are focusing on lack and limitation. Well, what you're doing is, what did I say? I said you have to have, the key is to build a mental equivalent of what we want. This person wants prosperity. So they're saying, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm earning 100,000 or more every month and I love it. Yet the rest of their day, they're looking at their problems. They're saying, I don't know where I'm going to pay the bill. And so they're activating a poverty consciousness. So they're sending out a double binding message. And understand, with the double binding messages, you're not going to get what you want. You're creating a cloudy image and direction to your subconscious mind. See, when we're filled with worry, doubt, and fear, we are sabotaging ourselves. This is the difference between winning and losing. This is how I used to live. I was doing the work, at least I thought I was, but I wasn't. I was transferring worry, doubt, and fear because my results, I kept letting the results dictate my attitude. See, what we want to do is stop operating from fear. Fear is not a bad thing. Fear is just feedback of what's going on, but doubt is a bad thing. Lack and limitation is a bad thing. That's telling ourselves that we're not worthy, and we never attract what we don't feel worthy of. So what happens is you'll transfer fear and you'll keep getting the same results you've always got, and you're going to keep focusing and reaffirming what you don't want. See, we've got to take control of our mind. I told you, you have to be willing to pay the price. What is that price? It's whatever demand. That means you've got to develop discipline. That means you've got to say, hold on a second. I'm aware of what the results are, but I'm not going to let it control me. I'm only going to think, feel, and behave like the person who's earning 100,000 a month. I'm going to mentally rehearse it every 3 hours. I'm going to go out though, when I'm done thinking it, I'm going to actually act like that person. I'm going to go in an hour a day and focus on ideas I could create. And as you do that over time, through the repetition, now you're going to create the results you want. And then you're going to be in harmony. See, we've got to understand this. And I want to ask you this. Are you operating, you want freedom? Are you operating from faith or fear? They're very different. Faith will give you the ideas of what you really want. Fear will tell you why you can't. And you want to ask yourself. Now, your mind is a garden, and we've got to ask ourselves, what are we planting in our garden? You grow your garden, but don't plant crap in your garden. Don't plant lack and limitation. Don't keep talking about what you don't want. Keep focused on how I can. What did we say? Right now, we're in the middle. All of us are in the middle of our acres of diamonds. Focus on how you can. Plant those and accept those ideas where you're planting seeds only of what you want. See, and let's look at this. Abundance versus scarcity. I want you to get this. You can make excuses or you can create world-class results, but you cannot do both. So right now, if you're making excuses, if you're making excuses, if you're blaming the outside, you're saying, I can't do it. Well, you're probably right. You can't do it. Because what you believe, whether you believe you can or can't, you're right. What you have to do is understand that you can have anything you want, but it's the development of your mind. It's the development of the power of 5. Now let's look at this. A person with a prosperity consciousness demands abundance. They say, this is what I'm doing. Like William James said, I don't look at circumstances, I make circumstances. See, you've got to make your circumstance. You demand abundance. Say, this is what I'm getting. And you demand it of yourself. You act on ideas. If you're sitting there, you don't act on ideas, I'm telling you, you're in a poverty consciousness. You take full responsibility. You have extreme ownership of your life. You're the only problem, the only solution you're ever going to have. These are the traits. You're aware that there's an unlimited supply and you have access just like anybody else. The universe is so abundant. And everywhere, all you do, a person with a prosperity consciousness, all they see is opportunities. Even when they have a problem, they go, oh, that's an opportunity. They're aware of that unlimited supply. They loathe lack and limitation. They do not want to be anywhere near it. They know if they're surrounded with this, a bad attitude, and that's what lack and limitation is an attitude, is contagious. So they go in the opposite direction. And they're always circulating money. They're always thinking about how they can help. They tithe quite a bit. They're constantly focused on putting good out. They're serving at the highest level. Now, you're spending the time anyways. This is where I want you to create great wealth for you and your family because you're spending the time. You're spending the days. The days are going to go by. But think, feel, and act like the person you want to be. That's what I want you to do. Now, I want you to think about this. We talked about prosperity consciousness. Now, let's talk about poverty consciousness. What are those traits? They're frustrated. They're always thinking about what they don't want. They're thinking, speaking, and acting what they don't want. They're needy. They come from a place of neediness. I mean, I think all of us at some point probably dated somebody in the past that was needy. It's a repelling energy. See, that's what poverty consciousness is. That's all they see, feel, and speak about, and they want you to know about it. So really understand, and I'm telling you, I hope I'm hitting some of you in the gut so you stop doing that. Stop reaffirming poverty in your life. See, abundance is generated by how you think and feel. So how am I thinking? How am I feeling? What did we say feeling is? Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. Whatever you're thinking is going to create the feeling. So if you're not feeling good, that means you're not thinking at the right level. Now, remember this, a consistent state of abundance raises your state over any obstacle. All you think about, when you're in abundance, all you're thinking about is opportunity. You look at the problem, you go, okay, that's fine. And you don't give it any energy. You focus on how you can. And as you overcome obstacle and obstacle and obstacle, you keep initiating more and more and more abundance, and you're demanding abundance into your life. And that's how you do it, okay? Now, most people, I want you to really get this. Most people create from a place of not having it. I want you to think about you over the last 30 days. Have you come from a place of not having it? You have to create from a place of worthiness. So we've got to purify our heart and only feel worthy. How do you do that? Look for the good in you. Every time you're auto-suggesting, that's the suggestion every 3 hours from yourself to yourself, you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am worthy of the good that I desire after you affirm what you desire. And as you do that, what happens, you're relaxed. What did I say? When you're tense, you're working from the outside in, and now you are putting that virus code on you. See, what we want to do is we want to get to the point we're so relaxed, we accept the idea, we say thank you, and that is the moment the universe will realize we're out of the way, and it will start drawing the right people to us. It will draw everything that you need. The ideas will start coming in that you're going to pick up. And this, I'm telling you, this slide you have to master. When you understand it, everything is going to change. And money loves speed. This is an attitude. Money loves speed. You've got to act on ideas right away. You've got to get in harmony and get emotionally involved with doing it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do not procrastinate. And as you do that, you're going to create the best version of yourself. I want you to fall in love with becoming the best version of yourself. Every day, fall in love with that. Every day we get to get better. Don't shame yourself. Don't put yourself down. Even if you make a mistake, that's part of winning. Be willing to make big mistakes so you create big wins. And as you do that, I promise you, you're on your way to financial freedom. And financial freedom, in my opinion, I say this over and over again, I think it is the worthiest goal anybody can create because of what it makes of you, because of how it develops you, how it teaches you how to master your craft, how it teaches you how to serve. The person who's financially free is not by accident. It's because the marketplace is telling them how damn good they are at what they do. We've got to become a master at what we do. And as you do that, you're going to see all the good coming to you. Now, I know that's a lot. This is important. Today, like if you want freedom, there's so much that goes into it. But it's knocking it down by one main thing, you. Take care of you. Take care of your mind. Freedom is about you, and it is your birthright. All right, I'm going to turn this over to my good friend, Monica. And Monica, I will let you take this. And, you know, if you haven't met Monica, you're going to be dazzled by this woman. She's absolutely extraordinary. I always say, and I don't say this to make her feel good, I really believe this. She is one of the top coaches in the whole world. And you want to listen to what she has to say. And she's been a product of the product, and she's created freedom for herself. So that is somebody you always know by how somebody shows up. Like Wayne Dyer used to say this. He used to say, we don't get what we want, we get what we are. What we are speaks so much louder than what I say. And you can feel it with this woman. All right, Mon, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Arash. Well, today was so good. The word freedom is obviously so close to Arash's heart. I love how he unpacked this entire lesson, because I hope from today you can see that you are not your results at all. So wherever you are right now, it does not define what you can do and create freedom moving forward. You can change that at any moment. And when I hear Arash's story about creating freedom for himself and his family, it was such a beautiful intention that he had. Everyone wants to create freedom, but what I have learned, not only from Arash's story, but from anything that I have started intentionally with what I wanted, not only has it brought out more passion for me, consistency, but also I got really creative on achieving that goal for me. It has been also successful because I intentionally wanted this truly for myself. But you want to also understand it's going to make you extremely satisfied and fulfilled by really creating something that you want. And not only growing towards your goal and creating freedom every single day, but also gives you so much joy as you're growing towards your goal. So working in harmony with your life philosophy, knowing what that is, will create freedom for yourself for sure. Make sure it's not something what somebody else wants for you. I want you to really create what you want to create. It's got to be very clear. So if you're so obsessed, like Arash was saying, with just the results only, then you might just get the result and nothing else, right? You want to always feel like you might feel like something's missing, or even that result might feel dissatisfying because you're not really going after what you want. You're not really growing in part of the process. So freedom is such a great word. Not only money freedom, but more importantly, that mental freedom for myself. This is what creates the money freedom and the income freedom, is the mental freedom and who you grow along the way to achieve this. And I love, when I think of life philosophy and freedom and working so closely with Arash and watching him, I love working in harmony with the law of compensation to create effortless success, for sure. I love working with the rules of being driven by compensation, driven by discipline, commitment, and passion. However, I love bending the rules a bit because I want my own life philosophy, meaning I want to bring out my unique edge, my own style along the way. I don't want everyone to be defined by a cookie cutter. No, we want to bring out what you want and bring out understanding who you actually are. But remember, the paradigm will not want you to tap into that at times. It's going to control that. It's going to control how you create freedom. It's going to control your relationship with money. It's going to control how you make decisions. It controls every area of your life. So that's why you want to understand how to reverse these beliefs into new empowering beliefs along the way, which is what we're going to do on today's assignments here. And I encourage everyone, as we go through the assignments, really do it right away. Right after we go off live, immediately do the homework. That will give you the urgency. Urgency is a great quality. Anyone who's creating freedom from their life, like Arash said, here at Voss, we have a motto: do it now, do it now. Take action like a radiant dog, like really bring out that action-driven implementation on these ideas. And you're already on the frequency freedom with us with this lesson. So opening that up right away, your mind's already open, tapping into these exercises I'm going to give you right away will let you mind and your heart explore into the possibilities of what's possible. If you let time goes by, often what's going to happen is the paradigm is going to sneak in and it's going to limit what is possible for you. So it's the lesson and the implementation that creates power in this lesson. So for today's assignment, there's two parts to it. And the first part is to write up the type of life philosophy you want to create around freedom. And this has to be a really vivid picture of what you want. And recognize that word that I used. I said vivid. I want it to be really clear. What type of freedom do you want? All areas of your life. I want you to bring relationships, health. What type of life philosophy do you want to create for yourself? And write it out in the present tense, like you're already there. Okay, that's very, very important. You want to make sure that you are really uncovering all the areas of your life. And then you record it, like Arash said on today's lesson, record it and listen to it throughout the day. Start your day with it. And then every 3 hours, you want to listen to it. Okay. And the second step is to write out your new life philosophy around money. So what type of relationship do you want to have around money? How do you want it to be? Is money always there for you like a great friend is? Do you have more than enough to share with others to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want? Are you the master of it or are you a slave of it? No, we want to really understand, become aware of the story that you have been telling yourself and rewrite it into the opposite of what you do want to create your relationship around money. And I want you to see it. I want you to feel it like you've already achieved it. Don't write what you think, write what you really want with this relationship with money, okay? And go back and watch this lesson. He spent some time really getting the depth of understanding the relationship and philosophy around money. So go back and watch that and post and tag your written work in our group and tag myself, Arash, and Mikey so we can watch you and we can cheer you on and give you advice along the way. And we're looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings for you as well. But really take the time to go back to re-listen to this and do the exercises immediately. Mikey, I'm going to hand it right back to you.
Thank you so much, Monica. This has been such an incredible first day. I have absolutely loved it. We're so fortunate to have a team here at Voss. You just heard from Monica, our director of coaching. If you have any questions about the assignment, about what Arash taught, reach out to Monica and schedule a call with her. One of the great things that we do during these events is we give you access to our director of coaching, Monica, and you can set up a call with her and she can kind of help you make sure you understand all the concepts and see how you can work closer with Voss Coaching Co. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things really quickly and then we'll let you go. We're just over the 90-minute mark. So thank you all so much for joining us and hanging in there. Monica just gave you a great assignment. And I had a big smile on my face when she went over the do it now. Just yesterday, I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's a firecracker of a 5-year-old. And she was like, Mommy, I don't want to do that. I'm scared. And I said, do you know the best thing to do when you're something, or the best approach when you're scared to do something or you don't want to do something? And she's like, what? And I said, do it now. And she just laughed and she's like, okay, Mommy. But I just love that because it's so applicable to adults, to children, to everyone. Do it now. Get it off your plate. get going, create momentum for yourself. So do that assignment right now. The replay is going to be available in the Facebook group immediately. It'll be available until next Friday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. We're also going to get the replay up on YouTube. So I know so many of you like the translation feature on YouTube, and I just want to let you know we are going to get it up on YouTube this evening. Other than that, I would love if everybody would post an introduction into the group so we can get to know you a little bit better. Post a picture, let us know where you're joining us from, what's important in your life, what your goals are, and how we can support you. And looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow, same place, same time, and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.